Well, because business now is global, and so as companies diversify, we have to understand the global markets before we can succeed in them. So having that knowledge of how people buy and what they choose to buy and what price they want to buy, etc., well, it becomes very important for a company to understand and properly develop the right marketing and sales plans for those countries that we want to enter. That if an executive doesn't care about the culture or is somewhat in a mode of thinking they're superior to the culture they're going to, the employees and the partners and the peers see right through that. And when they sense that, then there's that inherent arrogance, if you will, from an executive that doesn't enjoy my culture, so therefore the communication and other business aspects start to suffer. I think the good leaders are the ones that don't impose their power, their position upon their employees, but they convince them that this is the right path to go into. Everybody wants to be in a comfort zone, and why? The fear of change, the fear of what's happening in the future, etc. But I think in today's day and age, that kind of employee doesn't really fit in any company that has to be forward-looking, that has to be growing, that has to be challenging itself continuously. We had that in our company for several years, people that did one job and that's all they did and that's it. And eventually those jobs get threatened by somebody doing it better or by a computer system doing it for them, etc. So if you won't continue getting kicked, if you will, or getting challenged in your position, then you may get old, not in age, but old in your knowledge. 30 years ago, there was limited presence of foreign companies in Latin America. As U.S. companies starting to move into Mexico, into other parts, into Brazil, into other parts of Latin America, it started, part of what that foreign corporation brought was the cross-training and the learning opportunities for the workforce in those countries. That Latin Americans have had now, I would say for about 30 years, they have had the experience of being exposed to how business is done globally by these companies that have moved into their countries and hired local people to work in their factories or their business operations. And that to me has been a great learning opportunity for executives, for engineers, for technicians, people at all levels of their career path. And that has resulted in great performance by a lot of them. Most countries in Latin America, they don't get an opportunity to grow that much. You only grow if your parents are wealthy or you have connections somewhere in some company or in the government. And so opportunities are somewhat limited. But when they see an opportunity open up through a foreign company, they take quite a bit of advantage of that opportunity, I think more than a normal American would. Because Americans are more, there's more opportunities available for Americans, for example.